As one would have it, I actually succeeded for once. Welcome back. We're doing the pick'ems for the PGL Copenhagen 2024 CS2 Major, the inaugural Counter-Strike 2 Major. And it's wrapping up to be a fantastic playoffs. But before we go into the playoffs pick'ems, let's do a quick little recap. Let's go over what we've been doing so far in case you've been missing out. I am not in the running for a diamond coin. Yet again, I have gotten one diamond coin. That was when I believed in FaZe in Antwerp, PGL Antwerp, 2022. Since then, it's been kind of a dry streak, but it doesn't stop me from trying. We were so close, and yet so far. So close, yet so far. Brazil. I am now I will now be Brazilian. Thank you, Mongols, for at least giving me some hope in Asian Counter-Strike. Anyway, to recap the elimination stage. 16 teams, 8 of them made it to the playoffs. I got the 3-0s both correct, which was basically exactly what I thought. Now, it was a seeding pick, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really believe Mals was gonna win that much. I mean, they basically nearly lost both of these games anyway, and I mean, they didn't play very close against Complexity at all, but one could definitely find Spirit winning is more of an obvious pick. Now, they did lose a map. They did lose a map in overtime, but it was not really, you know, there was no danger of them losing the series in my book, and they just won it fairly handedly. Absolutely no problems at all. Mongols pick, I mean, I knew that was Cope from the beginning, but I put it there just to put my stamp on. You're not a true believer if you don't put it in there. You should be able to win regardless, you know? It's like the Pokemon quote, a true trainer wins with the Pokemon they love or whatever. This is me. I win with the Mongols that I love, even if they don't qualify. Heroic, I overestimated you, brother. You shouldn't have lost the pain. And you could have beat Na'Vi if you didn't lose the pain. I'm not gonna lie, because Na'Vi looked very shaky still. Anyway, congratulations to Eternal Fire as well. We're gonna get into that now. Now we've gone over the past. Forget about it. Move on to the future, and this won't be as complicated as we only discuss Swiss system, this, that, the other. Very simple. Who wins every game until the very end? And we can go through it top down. And it's a difficult bracket because these are some of the eight best teams in the world, perhaps even the 8 best teams in the world. You can't really suggest that a team, apart from VP, which, you know, it's heartbreaking, they should have been here, but, you know, life finds a way. You can't really change what's happened. You can only move forward, and that's just life. Now, Cena vs Vitality, I'm putting Vitality forward. I think ZywOo, he'll take some Panadol, he'll get over his illness, and Cloud9 will not be able to play a best of 3 on stage match against a team with an actual AWPer, as long as ZywOo actually AWPs. ZywOo, please lock in. That's what I have to say. ZywOo needs to lock in for this game, because he could easily, you could get 2-1 upset. Like, you win the first map, you get a bit EP, you sleep, and then suddenly C9 are winning because they got experience, by the way, on that roster. You know, they got a bunch of major winners. They got some stage players that can really show up, like a Mezzi. Mezzi could easily drop like a 0.5 rating and exit. Flames could drop a 0.7 rating and exit. You know what I mean? Apex, Flames, and Mezzi all very liable to fall off. Even Spinks, not necessarily 100% guarantee the way ZywOo has been so far. So it's not a close game. It's not as non-close of a game. Rather, it is a close game. But I think Vitality 60, 65, 35, 60, 40. I think Vitality have to take it here. I'm just putting Spirit over FaZe Clan. Predicting against Spirit is, you have to be a true FaZe believer. If anything, I'm a non-believer of FaZe. They've been playing pretty terribly. They only made it through because, I mean, Complexity have been playing worse than that. They lost 3 best of 3s in a row. And, they nearly even beat Vitality, but then after that, the gameplay was just completely off guard. I didn't lock it in, but it's fine. Put Vitality in, we put Spirit in. That's easy enough, right? And we'll do it piece by piece. We're not gonna finish. We'll finish this one and then we'll move on to the next semifinals, finals. You know what I mean? So, Eternal Fire versus Na'Vi. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Na'Vi, they don't look in form individually. They puff up JL. JL looks great. Can he convert it and can he maintain that performance? No, I think, but he can get some of it. Some of it is a fair prediction to make, but Imma is just gone. I think it's fair to say he's a red herring. It's been a while now since that last Paris Major run where he dropped ZywOo's numbers as a rifler in CSGO. CS2, never the same. Even never the same in CSGO, but when they picked him up. So I think you have to cut your losses on that one. Imma's not back. Wonderful is okay. I mean, he's great as an AWPer, but in terms of stage match against, I mean, it should be in theoretically a worse opponent, Eternal Fire, but dare I say, Eternal Fire. This is their momentum. This is the momentum carrying them forward. Na'Vi, I think they'll be thanking the fact that they made it here in the first place. I think Bit and Ima are gonna play uncharacteristically bad, or maybe characteristically bad if you want to put it that way. And I think Alexi B is gonna have a hard time rallying the troops together in the face of an Eternal Fire that's gonna be really in your face. They've exceeded expectations, and now they've just got to play with confidence. You know, their downside is they also don't have a lot of stage experience. You know, Wikadia's got nothing. Major's basically got nothing. It's been a long time since Major's been at the top, and even back when he was, it's not been playoffs for him back then either. And then you have Zantares, ever the onliner, you know, a few playoffs with Big, maybe, that's about it. And then Calix, again, kind of just here and there. And Woxic is actually the only possible shining light. He's had his runs, he's had his experience before in MOUZ, and I think he can actually bring it back for a series here. That's my opinion. Now, and I think I'm going to predict Eternal Fire over Na'Vi. This could go either way. I think the winner of this, though, doesn't beat either of these teams, but I hate to say it as someone who's, you know, peak haterism on G2 at the moment, not just because of what's happening with the VP game, you know, that wasn't their fault, of course, but you can't, it's just psychologically, you can't help but think that G2 should just lose. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal, and it's maybe a little bit vindictive and unnecessarily mean. That's true. m0NESY deserves to have a chance to showcase what he's capable of, but can he do it? I don't know. This MOUZ team is also a hard one to really get a hold of. Broland doesn't have that much stage experience. You actually realize that he has some, but it has been a while, you know, and can he do it again? It's arguable, and their MOUZ's recent playoffs games have been a little bit of a, you know, chalk that kind of collapsed against FaZe and Kato earlier this year, and it's not been convincing, but then again, G2's level of play has also been quite terrible. So it's really a matter of whether NiKo and m0NESY can turn up on the day, and that's the question of the year, because MOUZ's level of play is better than G2, but do they show their true levels is my question. Will G2 overperform and MOUZ underperform? Odds are very, you know, possible there. I'm going to put MOUZ in, and I'm going to put MOUZ here. We'll talk about it right after this, but I just think it's unreasonable to expect G2 to get that much better. But G2 can only get better, and MOUZ can only get a little bit worse, in my opinion, compared to the level of play that they showcased so far. And I think that's fair, but regardless, this is like a 55-45, but I have to put a winner through, and it's MOUZ at the end of the day. Anyway, while we're here, Eternal Fire MOUZ, I think this is where Eternal Fire, you know, they beat Na'Vi, and now they're like, now, you know what I mean? Now you can't really go up against this MOUZ team. They're both kind of equally inexperienced in some ways, but also experienced in other ways. Sounds like nothing, but at the end of the day, MOUZ just have a better system. They got a better regimented level of play. You could make the argument that the individuals of MOUZ are like have the potential to be worse. You have Zantares and Wikadia. If you look for comparable players on the other side, you know what you're looking for, maybe Yimpat and Broland. You know what I mean? Is that a comparable duo? Right now, Broland's been top frag, and can he continue it? Is he truly back? I think this is the true test for him, and I'm going to back him in this one. Vitality Spirit, I'm putting Spirit through. This Vitality team is at like 70% power, and maybe they're permanently at 70% power because of like the fact that they have mezii. I'm not even saying mezii is a bad player. I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? If you had Magus is going to top frag in a random map when you need him. Can mezii top frag in a random map when you need him in a stage game? I don't think so. Honestly, I have to be honest with the people at home watching. I don't think that mezii has got that dog in him right now. Especially not in the way that he's being used in this team, which is just kind of the fact that, you know, that's what you sign up for, right? If you're truly a great, you know, player of that role, you can rise above it, like Perfecto even, and have a lot of impact. Or like Magus can take more roles and more positions and demand that space and then perform with it and then say, you know what, that's what I'm here for. But, you know, more pressure's being put on Flames as a result, and mezii. And against the Spirit, it's hard to argue against Spirit winning the entire major. I had to be the boring picker here. I think MOUZ is going to crumble in the final. I think that, you know, you got a lot of rookies, you got a lot of inexperienced players at this level of the game. You can say that the same thing about Team Spirit. I hate to be the bearer of great news. Team Spirit did just win Kato, like in demolishing fashion. You know what I mean? That was recent. That's fresh in their memory. You know, they can look, and this is the best of 3. That was the best of 5. They can look at that experience and they can go, bro, we won like the hardest possible challenge. What is the Mouse team gonna do to us? What is Vitality? What is Cena? What is FaZe? What is any of these teams gonna do to us? They have like experience a couple months back to look back on and say we can win this impactful game in our history of our career. We don't need to look back and think we're gonna choke. You know, Mouse it's the breaking of the ceiling of victory that a lot of people talk about when it comes to big teams. It's the reason why C9 can still beat Vitality, even though like you can say C9's level is like not as good maybe, or they're missing fundamentals like at Opa. They just know how to win, and when it comes down to it in those pressure situations, C9 can win, but I'm still putting Vitality through at the end of the day. And that's like the opposite side of the branch, perhaps, for Na'Vi, is that can they win? Can Ema win? Can JL and Wonderful win when it comes down to it? Can they avoid the nerves? I don't think so. So that's kind of part and parcel of this entire discussion. Team Spirit, Mouse. I think Mouse are just gonna, you know, not out with a bang, but with a whimper. I think it's gonna be like they're gonna put up a close fight on one map. They might win a map like just about, and then they'll get smashed on pretty much everything else. And those are my authentic beliefs. I think Team Spirit win this major. Now I'm not in the running. I am not in the running for Diamond Coin, but I can at least get Gold Coin, I guess. You know what? Such is life. Such is life. Anyway, if you enjoy my predictions, you can come back in. How many days is it from when uploading this? It's a couple of days, right? It's like it's like 5 or 6 days, depending on time zones or whatnot. Come back then and then tell me how wrong I was, and then I'll tell you. Post a video of you explaining that you're right. And then I'll concede, and then you're the victor. But if you didn't do that, if you just put your pick'ems and if you didn't explain yourself, well, it's as good as being randomly chosen. By the way, you should be able to pick this one randomly. Like, they give you a random shuffle pick for this section. They didn't give a random shuffle pick for this one. Come on. Come on, Valve. Let me roll that dice. Anyway, enjoy the major, first of all. Enjoy the major. Look forward. I might write an article, post major article real quick after the So now, yeah, I should have time to write one article real quick, smart like. So stay tuned to that. I got links in the description, my Twitter, my Twitch. If I stream, maybe before the major, I do some streams. Not of the major, but just kind of warm up and we can chat about it. And I got my Substack where I do some Counter-Strike articles. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. And yeah, enjoy.